I think in my case, I always had entrepreneurial inclinations from the time I was a young girl, whether it be starting a neighborhood newspaper that I, typed and designed and, distributed on my bike to neighborhood kids, or going door to door with a little catalog I had as a young girl. And then, growing up, always curious about entrepreneurship. But really, I came to Wake Forest interested in the possibility of maybe becoming a doctor. Was a science major here, major in biology, and then left here and went and got really, truly amazing work experience in New York City, working at one of the top publishing houses, then working at 3 of the top ad agencies. I got a little bit of experience at a hedge fund, kind of giving me a broad look at a lot of different skill sets. And along that path, when I was getting engaged to be married, kind of found a market need for certain things. That I then tested with a small sample online and got great results. Sales were steadily increasing pretty quickly, and I did this all while I was working. So I didn't take on a huge amount of risk to do this. So at that point, when I saw that I was getting results, decided to kind of flesh it out more and turn it into a real viable business, which I did for about 1.5 years while I was still working, which was nice because I still had income coming in, which was offsetting the risk. And then ultimately, I decided to leave my job to pursue it full time. In my case, in terms of overcoming the fear of failure, I would say that I didn't really have a big fear of failure in the beginning because, as I said previously, I started this, and it was in a kind of slow startup phase. I did it while I was still working, so I didn't have that immense pressure on me that you think about, when people envision entrepreneurs leaving their jobs, going at it alone, or trying to assemble a team, and there's different ways that you can launch a business. And I think it really depends on the personality and what you're comfortable with. In my case, I did it, while still working full time. So I didn't have that huge fear of failure, and it allowed me to, take really deliberate and focused steps to sort of kick things off in a thoughtful way. So I think that really offset my fear of failure. I think being a woman, in today's world is unique. There's often additional sets of responsibilities that you have as a woman that we all know about, such as children and raising a family. So I think that one of the burdens of being a working woman who has kids is sort of trying to manage it all. And I know that, in today's world that we're still continuing to try to make progress on this front. I've done a lot of thinking about this topic over the past couple of years, and I've spoken out about it, and I've blogged about it, and I've been outward about it, at my kids' school. I think that schools are a place where we need to see more progress in terms of the way that they're dealing with working mothers. In my experience, this has been the one place where I've found these sort of decades-old behaviors towards the perception of working mothers. I think that there are expectations towards moms that seem to be weighted much more heavily towards them as opposed to the dads. And so I think that even though it's, the year 2018, I always feel a much larger burden of responsibility in terms of being involved at my kids' schools, helping at the schools, doing lunch duty, going on field trips, things like that. And I don't see the same asks of my husband. So this is something that when you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to run your own business and you have all the pressure and reality of that and salaries to pay of the people who are working for you, and obviously the need to compete in a very competitive marketplace, which I'm in e-commerce, home decor, which is extremely competitive right now. It's hard to take out the amount of time that you have to take out for your kids. You want to be there with your kids, but I just wish it were a little bit more balanced in terms of men and women with the asks that they give you.